More protests over the weekend as ICE wraps up 1 week now of being in Maine for what they're calling Operation Catch of the Day. DHS agents say they have arrested more than 100 illegal immigrants in our state. In Portland, 6 people are also arrested Friday night after demonstrators disturbed hotel guests, banging drums, blowing whistles there. Another anti-ICE demonstration drew more than 1,000 people Saturday afternoon. That happened in Lewiston. That is where several members of Maine's immigrant population live. And it comes as outrage unfolds over another deadly shooting in Minneapolis this weekend at the hands of federal agents, where the community there and here continue protesting against the presence of ICE. Meantime, Secretary of State Shanna Bellows is standing with Minnesota right now after that state rejected a request for its voter rolls. That happened from U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. So Bondi sent a letter to Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz over the weekend, urging him to, quote, bring an end to the chaos in the state. Bellows says that request crosses the line. She argues that elections are run by states, not the federal government, and that turning over voter rolls violates that principle.
Attorney General's letter to Minnesota makes it very clear that ICE is invading Minnesota and Maine to create chaos and to control our states and our elections. Let me say this very clearly for President Trump and Attorney General Bondi. Maine will never turn over our voter rolls as a ransom payment to get ICE out of our state.
Attorney General Bondi also asked Minnesota's governor to turn over Medicaid and food assistance records to federal fraud investigators and to roll back policies that limit state and local cooperation with federal immigration enforcement. Secretary Bellows says Maine has not received a similar letter. Independent Senator Angus King said over the weekend he will not vote for a package to fund the government if it includes funding for ICE, which could result in a government shutdown if they do not make a decision by Friday. King repeated what other officials have said, that ICE is not just arresting so-called worst of the worst criminals, despite what the agency is saying. The senator spoke yesterday morning on Face the Nation, where he questioned ICE's approach.
This worst of the worst thing is a pretext. What they're really doing is going after people who are here. They're asylum seekers. They're in the process. They have green cards. We've had numerous cases in Maine of people being stopped and detained with zero criminal record.
Senator King also shared his view that Maine people are being, quote, terrorized by ICE, and that supposedly illegal immigrants are not terrorizing Maine, which is what ICE is claiming. The senator also said he thinks there is an easy way out of the shutdown. The last government shutdown ended November 12th, lasted 35 days.